This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
This show is brought to you by Pet King Brands, the makers of Zymox and Oratine.
It's Oh Behave with Arden Moore, the show that teaches you how to have harmony in the household with your pets. Join Arden as she travels coast to coast to help millions better understand why cats and dogs do what they do. Get the latest scoop on famous faces, their perfectly pampered pets, and who's walking who in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails. Garner great pet tips and have a doggone fur-flying fun time. So get ready for the pause and applause as we unleash your Oh Behave host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome to the Oh Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Our special guest today is a two-time New York Times best-selling author. Hey, he's danced his way to victory on season 27 of Dancing with the Stars, and he's quite the daredevil on a show now airing on Nat Geo. We are saluting him today for performing what I view as his most important role, and that is raising awareness about how service dogs benefit military veterans. So, you guys know who I'm talking about? Please give pause and applause to the one, the only, Bobby Bones. Welcome to the show, Bobby.
Thank you very much, and just thanks for letting me talk about something that I know not only I, but you are also passionate about, and it is service dogs for the members of our military that need it and deserve it.
I like it. Hey, guys, we're going to connect with Bobby after we pay for the show by taking this quick commercial break. You guys know the drill. Sit and stay. We'll be right back.
Time for a pause. For furry ones, actually, sit and stay. Oh Behave will be right back.
Hey, pet pals, Arden Moore here. Got dog? Of course you do. Our friends at Carlson Pet Products have some great products to keep your dog happy and safe. They have a lineup of decorative and durable doorway gates. Hey, I got two, and I love them. They keep my dogs, Kona and Emma, out of the two rooms where my cat's litter boxes are. My cats are able to slip in and out of the small opening of the gate when needed. I installed these gates in minutes. The gates are easy to use and match my decor. Learn more by dashing over to carlsonpetproducts.com today. You'll be glad you did.
Get 25% off your order plus free shipping using the promo code PETLIFE at carlsonpetproducts.com.
Let's talk pets on PetLifeRadio.com. Oh Behave is back with more tail-wagging ways to achieve harmony in the household with your pets. Now, back to your fetching host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome back to the Oh Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Our special guest is the Bobby Bones. Yep, Breaking Bobby Bones star on Nat Geo. On our show today, like he just said, he's going to go to the dogs, and in a great way. And we're going to dive in because, guys, September is designated as National Service Dog Awareness Month. And our special guest, Bobby, has teamed up with Dog Chow to produce a must-see, or make that must-see, I'm not sure, Bobby, called Even Heroes Need Heroes. It's a great documentary he produced and starred in. I really love that title, but I love even more your mission, Bobby. So tell folks what Even Heroes Need Heroes, this documentary is all about.
Well, it's about service dogs and how our military members need them, and how it's not a luxury. It's a way for them to get back into a normal lifestyle. They've been out fighting for our freedom.
Yep.
They come back with PTSD, and now they need a way to try to get their life back. And with many of them, the dog is that therapy. And I can give you an example, because at this point I'm just saying generic terms, but I do like to talk in specifics, and there was a guy named Andy who I was able to work with and I've gotten to know. And Andy has a dog named Thanos, and Andy has night terrors because his PTSD was so bad that he would sleep for about 2 hours and wake up and scream and be scared. And you know as well as I do, Arden, if you're not sleeping, you're not living well, because you're mentally not right, you're emotionally not right, you're physically not right. And so Andy couldn't adjust because of the night terrors. But what Thanos does is when he senses them, he's able to get up on the bed and basically calm them down, wake them up.
Isn't that
And so
nice?
just that alone lends itself to him having the capability to start to get back to normal. So, there are different instances too with Shannon, who, talks about not having to take as much medication anymore because of his dog. And so, for me, I learned about therapy dogs 5 or 6 years ago. I was doing some work with the military, which we do on my radio show a lot. And I'm such a dog person, which you would relate to, that I said, let me see what's up with these service dogs. And I was shocked to realize they cost $20,000 each because of the training that it takes, which nobody has $20,000 laying around, especially if you've been over fighting for our country. It's not like you come back and you just sit on a pile of money. And so we started raising money and using money to buy service dogs for our vets from my radio show called The Bobby Bones Show. And Dog Chow was doing the same thing.
Isn't that a nice parallel mission?
Yeah. We're both going the same direction. And so they were like, why don't we just team up? And I said, it makes both of our jobs easier and we can do more. And so we've been together for years. And this year we decided to, in order to bring more awareness, to do a documentary, which you've seen. And so we're doing a big screening of it on September 8th at 12:30 Central on the Dog Chow YouTube channel. And if you missed that, if you hear this after it, you can just go to dogchow.com/service. And like the title says, even heroes need heroes. And they are both, the dogs and the humans. They're such heroes.
Well, you have a couple of four-legged heroes, I guess, that woof in your house. I knew about Stanley, the bulldog, but right before we went on the air, you talked a little bit. You got another dog, Eller. Tell us how dogs make you a better Bobby Bones.
Well, I don't know if they're heroes. I think they're trouble.
There goes your shoes. There goes your socks.
Stanley is a bulldog. We got him when he was really young, and he's had 9-10 surgeries at this point. We knew he was sick.
Yeah.
And a friend was like, hey, you can have him, but just know it's going to be very expensive to kind of get him healthy again. And I was like, luckily for me at this point in my life, I have the resources to do that, and I love dogs. And I was like, I'll take him. So he's back. He's awesome now. He's like 2, and he's rocking. He's fat.
How much does he weigh?
Well, he's lost 6 pounds. He's been going to like dog day camp. So he's lost 6 pounds. Yeah. He's like 62 pounds at this point. He's awesome. And so once he kind of got healthy, Caitlin was like, let's adopt another dog. And so we found Eller on a website. She had just been picked up off the street. And Eller is Aunt Eller from the movie Oklahoma. Caitlin's from Oklahoma. Okay. And so we have Eller. And Eller, because she was on the street, was quite aggressive at first. And so it took a few months of working with her. Now she's like 98% great. And so we had 2 dogs. They're difficult, but they're supposed to be right now. And we love them both. Eller's a lot younger. She's still a puppy. She's 10 months old.
What do you think she is? Is she a canine cocktail or what?
We did the dog test on her, and she's like 60% husky and 30% hound. And then the other 10% is a little grab bag.
Wow. And also, guys, he mentioned twice, and this is a good husband. Caitlin, congratulations. You all got married this year, right?
Thank you. In July, we got married. I waited I'd never been married. I'm 41. I just got married for the first time ever, waited for the right person, and got lucky that she gave me the time of day and convinced her to marry me. And now it feels like, I got her locked in.
All right. Well, I applaud you for this documentary, but also the fact that this is something that you've been doing for several years with Dog Chow. Let's get right into it. When you talk about Andy and Thamos and Shannon and all that, I know you never served in the military, but you have a special place in your heart for the military. I think service dogs, there's just something about them. What's your take on them? Because they're so intuitive. I mean, I know they're well trained, but don't you wish you had that intuitiveness that dogs have sometimes?
Yeah, I really stink at that. I'll be honest with you. I am not.
So do I sometimes.
I don't have that. That's part of the reason it costs so much to train a dog. Like, you have to find a dog with, naturally that intuitiveness, and then you have to train it for nuance.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of training, because it's not like you're training a dog to sit and training a dog to go get a ball. Like, you're training a dog to take care of someone's life.
Yeah.
And so, and that cannot be taken lightly. And it is expensive, but that's why I'm proud that Dog Chow has, jumped in head first and said, we're in this. I've jumped in head first, and, just grateful to people like you for putting me on and allowing us to spread the message.
Let's get into it, because what service dogs do, and I know Dog Chow is helping you with all this, but what would be some things that people would be surprised that dogs like Thamos are being able to do for folks like Andy?
Well, I mean, I mentioned the sleeping thing. If you don't sleep, you don't do anything else right.
Right.
So, that would be one of them. Emotional detachment, sometimes to love again and not be scared. I mean, and some of the core values that we have as humans, at times tend to get lost whenever you're going through something traumatic. So dogs do that. Hypervigilance. There's so many things that we take for granted that are naturally in us and haven't been taken away because we live a life without fear of being shot at, without fear of being in war. And, these dogs are there to kind of help build them back to where they deserve to be. And I think it's my job to sit here with you and encourage people to just have awareness. I'm not asking you for any money. This is not me going, give me $10 or $50. It's me just going, hey, if you don't mind, would you mind giving us a little bit of awareness? And that's why at dogchow.com/service, you'll see the video, and you'll also see ways that you can help as well if you're so moved.
I like that. And this is a touchy topic, but it's an important one. Not every dog is a service dog. And so what's some doggy manners we need to give the real legitimate service dogs when they're working with their humans?
That's a great question, because I was not good at this until I learned about service dogs.
Yeah,
if I saw a dog anywhere, I was petting it, scratching its ears, I was going to ride it. Yeah, I just loved it.
Doggy.
But, if you do see a service dog and it does have the vest on, you should ask the owner, hey, is the dog okay to pet? And sometimes it's not because the dog's working. You wouldn't come up to me and pet me right in the middle of a stand-up act or doing the radio show. You might want to, Arden.
Or doing your Dancing with the Stars. Can you imagine somebody, may I cut in?
Yes, right. That wouldn't happen. So, I think it's learning those manners because you want the dog to be able to do its job. And sometimes that could inhibit it from doing that.
All right. What are things like for being on the show, Breaking Bobby Bones? I mean, even the title makes you feel like you better have a lot of insurance, but you've done the Grand Canyon, you've been burned. I mean, I love the Nat Geo show. So tell us about this. You're kind of like, I think someone used the term Renaissance, but I'm going to date myself. You're like the 21st century George Plimpton.
Well, that's a compliment. I would say that I'm so not good at this stuff that it becomes interesting.
Okay.
There are 16 episodes up on Disney Plus right now. And for me, it wasn't even about the stunts or the crazy things that I do, the adventures or sometimes the jobs, but it's about people's stories and how much they've been through. And, I consider myself someone who's been very lucky to get through a pretty tough childhood and early part of my life. And I share and hopefully inspire. But I went in every episode, met with somebody who inspired me and hopefully inspired the people that are watching the show. And I do a little something, where I almost die every episode. But, I'm supposed to be uncomfortable.
You got more lives than a cat. I know you're a dog man, Bobby, but come on.
I'm supposed to be uncomfortable, and you see me uncomfortable, and that's okay because we don't grow unless we're uncomfortable. So very proud of the show. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, give me one example. I don't know which one you want to pick, a segment that you were like, uh-oh, I'm a newlywed. What am I doing?
Well, I didn't get married till I finished the show.
Oh, okay.
So, but there were like 14 to the 16 where I was like, I might die. What am I doing? I mean, when I was at negative 20 degrees and I'm on top of one of those, in the middle of Iowa, one of those big those fans.
Oh, yeah.
I was on top of it as wind was blowing. I was like, what am I doing here? So that happened a lot. I was under the water in 100 pounds of equipment doing, commercial diving, working on a pipe for 70 minutes straight underwater. About 15 minutes into it, I'm like, what am I doing? Hanging over the Grand Canyon, 4,000 feet on a rope. So there's a lot of those, but I'm very proud that we were able to finish the season and they're all up now on Disney Plus.
Well, the other thing is you did humbly grow up in a little town in Arkansas. And is there something you can give folks? Because I grew up in a town called Crown Point, Indiana, where our claim to fame is Dillinger escaped from our escape-proof jail using black shoe polish and carved out of a soap bar a gun. So it's not a real bright town where I'm from, but I tried to get going. What about you? I mean, you grew up in a little town in Arkansas and people know who you are today.
Well, I grew up in a town of 772 people, Mountain Pine, Arkansas. And, for me, it's not about where you come from. It's the direction you're going. And, sometimes you get knocked off course, but it's not over until you quit. And I just refuse to quit. And I feel that way with folk. Like, it ain't over until you say it's over. And you saying it's over is when you quit. So don't quit. And so I think anything's attainable. And so I'm still in the middle of my process myself. And, right now we're just trying to attain a lot of eyeballs and, just trying to make so many people aware of what's happening with these service dogs.
Well, Veterans Day is coming up, but every day I think should be saluted. I have a military spouse. My brother was in the military for 20 years. What is your message? I know we said it earlier, but this has to be said. How can we salute military veterans, especially those with PTSD?
I think you can salute them by seeing how you can help. And the example that I'm giving now is because I'm so passionate about these dogs is, do your research. And we've done a lot of it for you and made it easy. And you can watch this video. We're not trying to sell you anything. I think that's what needs to be said. I'm not trying to sell you anything, but if you go over to dogchow.com/service, there's a lot there for you to hopefully read, learn, watch, process. And then if you feel so moved, then maybe you can do something. And if not, do something else good for somebody.
Yeah, we kind of need that a little bit nowadays, don't you think, Bobby?
I think we need it all days, especially now.
So where are we going to see Bobby next?
Well, every morning on my radio show for sure. And then, we'll see about a season 2 of Breaking Bobby Bones. We are, it's streaming right now. We're getting great streaming numbers that do well on Nat Geo. And we're just kind of waiting out to see what happens with this COVID, and when we can shoot again, maybe we will. American Idol's coming back. Got to kind of decide where I'm going to go in the fall. And just very lucky to, have options.
When you are on the other side, you were asking the questions. There's a lot of folks that want to run a podcast or to interview folks. Is there a couple tips you can give them from behind the mic?
Yeah, I would say find your niche. Like the more niche you can get, the more specialization you can get. It doesn't seem like that would be right to be like, well, I want to talk about big things people care about, but that's already being talked about. And that's find your specialty and focus on it and grow your niche from one person out. I think, but the great things about a podcast is it doesn't matter what you're interested in. Somebody's got a podcast on it. And that's what I would tell people who want to start a podcast. And I do have a podcast network with 10 podcasts on it. And I don't want them to go full mainstream. I want them to focus on what exactly they can bring in their specialty.
And how important is it? I tried to do my homework on you, Bobby, but how important is it for you really to spend that time before you have a guest on? I've been on satellite media tours. I've written 30 pet books. And it's kind of frustrating when they don't get your name right or even the name of your dog. Stanley Eller.
Well, I get called Bobby Jones a lot. So
Bobby Jones?
Yeah, at this point, it is what it is. Research is always good. I think that, and some people will tell me, well, I like to just know as I go. But I find the more that I learn, the more I want to know. So I never take that as an excuse. Like, well, I don't want to do any research because I want to find out as I'm doing the interview. I have found in my 10 million interviews that the more I research someone, the more questions I actually have that are really good.
So you actually listen so you can do a follow-up, right?
That is correct.
All right. Well, I think you need to teach Stanley and Eller how to do a doggy salute. Can you put that in your must-do list, Bobby?
You know what? I'm going to work on Stanley not vomiting after drinking too much water at one time first. He's got the other traits now, but he will drink a whole bucket of water, never stop, and then go, bleh. So we're going to work on that, and then maybe the salute.
All right. Hey, guys, we're speaking with Bobby Bones. You got to check him out on Nat Geo. But more importantly, he's got a documentary out September 8th with Dog Chow. You got to say that link again. That's tattooed in your head.
dogchow.com/service.
All right. It's been terrific to have you on. I know you're going from one interview to the next, but my furry Brady Bunch gives you a big bow. Wow, Bobby Bones.
Thank you very much. It's been great talking with you.
All right. Take care, man.
Bye.
Hey, guys. It was great having Bobby Bones on. He's going from one satellite media tour interview to the next, but we're going to continue with this topic after we take this commercial break. So sit and stay. We'll be right back.
Time for a pause. 4 furry ones actually sit and stay. All behave. We'll be right back.
Hey, pet pals, Arden Moore here. Welcome to spring and summer, the onset of itchy skin and allergy season. Is your pet dealing with itchy skin, hot spots, and even ear infections? Help is here. It is Zymox shampoo and conditioner to the rescue. Not only is this a shampoo and conditioner great for general bathing and healthy skin support, but it is the go-to shampoo and conditioner for itchy pets. Its patented enzyme formula is loaded with antibacterial and antifungal properties to ease the itch and stop the scratching. And as an added bonus, Zymox shampoos and conditioners give off a lovely, pleasant, non-medicine smell. For over 20 years, Zymox products have been helping pets find relief for many health conditions. All Zymox skin and ear products get their effectiveness from enzymes. Zymox contains no antibiotics and no petroleum byproducts, just the soothing power of enzymes. Zymox can be found at your veterinary clinic, most pet specialty stores, and online. To learn more, dash over to www.zymox.com. That's ZYMOX for your pet's sake. Pause up, everyone. Arden Moore here, the host of the O Behave Show. Raise your paw if you love frozen desserts. I know I do. And so do my canine trio of Bujo, Kona, and Emma. They drool with delight when offered this sweet treat. And now all dogs will have plenty to yap about. That's because Ben & Jerry's has just unleashed not one, but 2 doggy desserts. Your dog can enjoy the Ponce Mix made with peanut butter and pretzel swirls, or Rosie's Batch made with pumpkin and mini cookies. Or put a little of both in their bowl. Yum, yum for the tum-tum. Now, when you treat yourself to a bowl of your favorite Ben & Jerry's ice cream, mine is the classic Cherry Garcia, your dogs can enjoy the Ponce Mix or Rosie's Batch or a blend of both. Do you know what time it is? Why, it's Ben & Jerry's time. I see happy Bujo, Kona, and Emma heading my way. Check out the Ben & Jerry's doggy desserts at benjerry.com. That's BenJerry.com. Pause up.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hey y'all, it's Kelly Pickler, and you're listening to Arden Moore on Old Behave on Pet Life Radio. I love y'all.
We're back from the lot. Just checked the paper and we had a record showing at the box. The letterbox, that is. Now back to Oh Behave. Here's Arden.
Welcome back to the O Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Service dogs. Service dogs that help military veterans. Can't think of a more powerful sentence. And I was glad that Bobby Bones is part of the team, along with Purina's Dog Chow, that are going to be having this documentary, I hope you can see, that comes out on September 8th. In the meantime, guys, just Google Dog Chow service dogs, and you're going to find out some startling information about the very important things that service dogs do. But we need a lot of them. We have about 18 million military veterans, and the best statistics available show that at least 20%, that's 1 in 5 guys, suffer from some degree of post-traumatic stress disorder. They could have a mild traumatic brain injury. They could have depression. And having specific working dogs, service dogs, trained for them can really help them get a quality of life. And in fact, 19% of all service dogs are now specifically trained to help people who are coping, dealing with symptoms of PTSD. There are about 500,000 service dogs in the United States. You may think that's a lot, but as we mentioned earlier, there are millions of military veterans and others who are not in the military who really need a specifically well-trained dog to help them stay mobile, be able to have a quality of life. And as Bobby Bones told us, it costs about $20,000 per dog to train a service dog. And they typically finish their schooling at about 1.5, 2 years. But here's some of the cool things, just to give you an idea about what a service dog with military veterans dealing with PTS can do. They can actually put their body weight on a veteran to promote a sense of calm when a military veteran is feeling a panic attack. It's called in the military, watch my 6. What does that mean? Well, they use like a clock, and 6 on the clock would be behind you. So you're in a line at Home Depot and you're feeling stressed, but you have your service dog with you. You can tell the dog, watch my 6. And the dog will be trained to go behind you and give enough of a gap between you and the person behind you waiting in line. It sounds minor, but it's a major deal to help tone down levels of stress. They also are trained to recognize and interrupt harmful behaviors. I think every spouse would like that trick. They, as we mentioned from when we heard on Bobby Bones, they can help a veteran who may be having night terrors and wake them up, as he mentioned in what Thamos has done for the military veteran Andy that's being portrayed in this special documentary. Even heroes need heroes. They can retrieve medicine and even remind their person to take medicine. They can patrol the perimeter of a room for any potential triggers or threats. Hey, I like this one. They can turn off the lights. And turn off the lights. You don't need one of those clap on. You need a bark on, bark off. And I like this one. This one would be great. They can create an excuse for you to leave by nudging during a tense social situation or awkward. So you're dating and the date isn't going well. Oh, sorry, I got to go because my dog's got to go. All right, I want a service dog just for that. I'm just teasing. They're very valuable and in short supply. And the favorite, they unleash love. They unleash affection. And who doesn't need a dose of that these days? So guys, I want you please to go to Purina.com and check out the Dog Chow Service Dog site. Please check out Bobby Bones and the new documentary. We're keeping our paws crossed that he's going to get season 2 for Breaking Bobby Bones. That's on Nat Geo. And he is on American Idol. He's the dude that won season 27 on Dancing with the Stars. I really enjoyed getting to talk to him and getting to know what his mission is. And going to the dogs with a guy like Bobby Bones is a pretty good thing to do. So guys, until next time, I want to give a shout out to my producer, Mark Winter. He is the executive producer of all the shows on Pet Life Radio, the #1 pet radio network on the planet. And please dash over to ardenmoore.com to find out more about what I'm up to. And until next time, this is your flea-free host, Arden Moore, delivering just 2 words to all you 2, 3, and 4-leggers out there. Oh, behave.
Coast to coast and around the world, it's Oh Behave with Arden Moore. Find out why cats and dogs do the things they do and get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get great tail-wagging pet tips and have a fur-flying fun time. All Behave with America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore. Every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.